So, because I enjoyed my childhood the way I'd enjoy being locked up in a crappy hotel against my will for 18 years. When I was only 5 years old, my parents took me to the most beautiful hotel on earth. It was the Top of the Mark in San Francisco. This place was premium. They had heated towel racks that you could enjoy. There was a telephone in the bathroom. There was a television. The whole thing was beautiful, and I loved it. And then my parents made a serious mistake. They took me home. I hated it when I got home. I just realized that my standard of living was really low, living with my mom and dad. My room, there was no maid service. I was the maid where I was growing up. And they only had one restaurant. The name wasn't very imaginative. It was called the dining room. Right? Dave, you may have had a dining room where you grew up. Sometimes I'll call it the breakfast nook. Right? But trust me, dining room and breakfast nook, they're all the same franchise. They use the same kitchens. It's not. And the only thing that I knew the dining room was going to be problematic because there was no menu. Right? It wasn't an all you could eat. It was take it or leave it. That was the style. And the thing is, you'd have to be pretty stupid as a little child not to figure out that turkey and peas don't become a completely magically new meal just because you add macaroni and call it a casserole. I would hate it. I would talk to Santa. And Santa would say, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, "I want to be transferred to a better hotel." Santa, I want to be in a hotel that's got a big Olympic pool and chase lounges and beautiful towels. And so Christmas morning, my brothers would be downstairs around the tree wearing their pajamas, opening up presents. And I'd come walking down the steps wearing a little bathing suit. Tears streaming down my cheeks. Disappointed again. Hey, Steve. Sure. In fact, that's one of the things that still, bothers me about the idea of going to heaven. It seems when you go to heaven, you spend a lot of time with your deceased relatives. That's not fair. My grandparents were lovely people, but they ran a worse hotel than my mom and dad. At my grandparents' house, there wasn't even air conditioning. There was just this fan that went back and forth. It was hot and humid. The place smelled like hamburger and stale perfume. Why would I want to spend all eternity with my grandparents? I couldn't stand visiting them when I was 8. My wife is here. This is Tricia. She looks so sweet and nice, but she's not. No, she's kind of mean. To make her happy, I take her to the mall. She loves going to the mall. They give her free samples. The mall is designed to make women happy. In fact, there's nothing at the mall for a man. There's no auto parts store. There's no hardware store at the mall. The only thing at the mall specifically designed for a man are those couches outside of Victoria's Secret. There's another thing I don't like in my neighborhood. We have a dry cleaning place, and they call it celebrity cleaners. So, Richard, I would think if you call your business celebrity cleaners, you're implying that you're going to treat your customers like they're celebrities. No, It's the other way around. No, you go to this place, and we wanted to get some tailoring done. And they said, well, the lady isn't here. You have to come back in an hour. So we came back in an hour, and they said, well, I'm sorry, she left for the day. And I thought, well, this is celebrity cleaners. What they mean is they're like Alec Baldwin. And we're a pathetic fan asking for an autograph. Those celebrities, though, they do take care of their kids. My self-esteem has been very high lately. I went to one of those colleges that these celebrities are cheating to get their retarded children into. Yeah. I don't like the weight loss center. They hurt my feelings at the weight loss center. I asked them, if I spend all this money to lose weight and I get really thin, what happens if I don't like how I look and I want to go back to this?
And?
I guess they were more confident the weight would come back than I was. So. The other place that makes me nervous is the Subway sandwich store. And part of it is they speak Spanish there behind the counter. And I was afraid that, they were dissatisfied and they were saying negative things about me. Because in the Spanish language, they have that rolling R sound. And it's very threatening. So I'd listen to them. It'd be, hasta que hora vas a trabajar esta noche. That means, how late are you going to work tonight? That was a relief to learn enough Spanish to make that work. I'm so proud. Members of our small group are here today. Steve and Sherry, thank you for coming. Steve and Sherry are very important to us. My wife and I are on a very special diet where we're not allowed to have any sweets or any desserts whatsoever in the house.
Really?
Unless we intend to give them to other people. So that's our small group. So what we do is we buy all sorts of cakes and desserts and pie, and we carefully store them in our refrigerator. And then a week later, we go visit Steve and Sherry, and we give them what's left over. Thank you, Steve. In our small group, I'm going to use a real name. Her name's Kathy. Kathy is the sweetest, most loving person on earth. She makes me feel so at home. I remember I told Kathy once, I'm really disturbed by some of these contradictions between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And Kathy, she goes, John, we all have doubts like that. And it made me feel so at home. And then, so I decided to test her. I said, Kathy, sometimes when I'm watching television, my eyes go blurry, and it seems to me like Satan is talking to me from the television, and Satan is telling me to go to the supermarket and punch people in the face. Remember? And Kathy goes, oh, that happens to me all the time. Do I have time for one more art? Isn't that true about Kathy? She is a sweetheart of a human being. Sometimes, though, I think some people are better off being single. And part of it is, the downside of that is if you die, nobody knows, right? Except your cat. And that's problematic because your cat is not another human being. Your cat doesn't really love you. Your cat likes you, but your cat also understands that you're a big bag of yummy protein. Yeah, they've studied this. Apparently, after you die, your dog will wait about a week or 2 weeks before it starts eating you. A cat, however, can only hold out about an hour or two. Cat is a little trigger happy when it comes to eating the owner. So that's why if you're going to take a nap on the couch, make sure you feed the cat. I'm serious. When that cat's looking at you, you think he's looking at you with love. No, the cat is checking to see if your chest is still going up and down. The cat is looking at you with that, like cocking their head with that, and they look so loving, but really, they're just like you waiting for the microwave to finish up. So. Okay, one more, we're done for that. Okay. Well, I'm kind of harsh on my mom and my family, but I will say I really do love my mom. She's the most important person in my life. But the thing is, I hated her when I was growing up. And part of the reason I hated my mom is she would make me take naps in the afternoon. She said I got grumpy, Sonny, and so she'd make me lay down. But I guess most kids, when they lay down, they just fall asleep. But for me, with my hyperactive brain, I would just lay on my back and look at the ceiling, and it seemed like I was awake. It was like I was suffering to go to bed like that. I was so glad when I got out of that house, and then I could, go to bed whenever I wanted and not take naps. So at any rate, I drive up there to Lancaster, and we go to see the poppy fields. Just beautiful, beautiful poppies. Marty! It's so good to see you. So there are poppies out there, and then we come home, and it's been hot, and I'm tired, and I'm feeling drowsy. And so my mom says, well, John, why don't you just go up to your old room and just lay down a little while? And so I thought, oh, what the heck, so I go up and I lay down, and suddenly I'm not drowsy anymore. In fact, I'm looking up at the ceiling, and I think to myself, damn, she did it to me again. Okay, you've been a great audience. Thank you so much.